Hello, I'm Sophie and welcome to SimplyElectronics TV. Canon has recently launched the Canon PowerShot G11, a successor to the popular G10. Unlike the G10, however, the resolution of the G11 has been reduced from 14.7 to 10 megapixels. It will seem that the focus on the G11 is not on pixel count, but on its performance in low lighting environments. According to Canon, the combination of the high-sensitivity 10-megapixel sensor and Canon's enhanced Digic 4 image processing technology enables the G11 to improve noise performance by up to 2 stops compared with the PowerShot G10. This means that this camera at 800 ISO would have the same noise performance as 200 ISO on the G10, and that's pretty impressive. There's also been an increase in the ISO from 1600 on the G10 to 3200 on the G11. Canon also included a low-light shooting mode, so the ISO can be pushed up to 12,800, albeit with reduced resolution of 2.5 megapixels and a shooting speed of 2.4 frames per second. The low-light capabilities of the new G11 will allow photographers to shoot high-quality images without the flash in even more situations. As a side note, I'd like to point out that on the other end of the scale, the G11 comes with an inbuilt neutral density filter. This decreases light levels by 3 stops, which allows for creative control even in bright conditions. One of the biggest changes with the G11 is the articulate LCD screen. It is a freely adjustable 2.8 inches, 460,000 dot LCD monitor, which can flip up, down and even inside out to protect against scratches when not in use. It's a very handy feature, especially when taking photos at odd angles. However, it must be noted that with protruding pieces, more care needs to be taken to ensure it doesn't get knocked around. In this sense, the G11 is less rugged than the G10. The thing I love the most about the G11, which is present in the G series in some form or other, are the dials. There are 3 dials at the top of the camera, giving you instant access to the shooting modes, the ISO and the exposure levels. There is also a dial at the back of the camera which can be operated very intuitively. Depending on the shooting mode, the dial can open up different features. When in scene mode, the dial allows you to quickly change between the different preset settings, such as portrait, landscape or indoor. When you switch the camera to aperture or shutter priority, the dial lets you change the shutter or aperture speed without needing to go into any menus. Easy. Like its predecessor, the G11 comes with a 5x optical zoom lens. Ranging from 28 to 140mm, the maximum aperture is 2.8 at the wide end, extending to 4.5 at the telephoto. There's also a ring which can be detached at the front of the camera, like this. This gives you the option to attach an extension tube or macro flash attachment. The Canon PowerShot G11 also has a lot of focusing options. Apart from the 9 autofocusing points with the face detection, you can also manually choose an AF point using the FlexiZone AF system. Manual focusing and focus bracketing is also available, and this camera will focus within 1 centimetre from the lens in a macro mode. With regards to the shooting modes available, not much has changed from the G10. As mentioned before, they have included a low light mode to allow for good performance even in adverse lighting conditions. Also added is a quick shot mode, which as the name suggests, allows for speedier shooting with minimum shutter lag. Clicking into the menu opens up further features, most of which are familiar to Canon users. One of the features which is pretty handy, especially as this camera can shoot in RAW, is the auto exposure bracketing. This would definitely be a must for HDR enthusiasts out there. Now, looking at the side of the camera, you can see that there's an HDMI port. But don't let that fool you, the movie mode still only shoots VGA and not HD. This port is to allow you to view photos with an HD screen. The shape and size of the G11 is nothing new to people who are familiar with the Canon G series. It is not a slim camera by any means, but it's a sturdy compact camera. In comparison to the G10, the G11 is slightly bigger. It's on the borderline of pocketable, but still is easy to carry in a backpack or handbag. With regards to heft, I feel that the weight distribution of the camera could have been handled better. The grip feels much lighter than the rest of the camera, making the camera hard to hold. This is only a small problem, however, as you can always balance the camera by supporting the body with the other hand. Overall, the Canon PowerShot G11 seems to be the first step in an interesting direction. Priority is given to performance rather than to the number of megapixels. The articulate LCD screen shows that functionality is also a major consideration. Furthermore, the lack of HD movie shows that Canon wants to keep the G series focused on shooting still pictures. Most importantly is that the central concept of the G series has been retained. The G11 is a camera which fuses the compactness of a point-and-shoot camera with the features and performance of a DSLR. Check out our channel page for more reviews as we'll be adding videos more regularly.